The aunt next door fell in love with the boy and wanted him to spend a night with her. Carl refused the invitation. But as soon as he went out, bad luck came. His clothes were caught and pulled out. He fell down the stairs with too much force and almost fed the dog. Just saying no brought bad luck. This reminded Carl of the curse. So he was forced to go back to the neighbor aunt's house and say yes. The aunt happily took off her dentures. Why did she take off her dentures? I don't understand. You can understand it yourself. As for what curse Carl thought of, which made him bite the bullet and go back to the neighbor aunt's house, the story has to start from the beginning. Carl is a bank loan department reviewer. Originally, he was a positive and good young man. But because of his divorce from his ex-wife, he became decadent and refused everything. He refused to approve the loan application of customers. He refused to go to parties with colleagues. He refused to go to blind dates with friends. And even his boss fought for a promotion opportunity for him. During this period, he had to work harder. But Carl said he wanted to give up. Promotions and such don't matter. With his attitude towards life, his life is basically ruined. Until this day, he met a former colleague who recommended him a lecture called Mr. Good. He said that as long as he went to the lecture, it would definitely change his life. Carl laughed. However, when he saw his former colleague, who used to look melancholy, now had a bright face, he still followed him. He wanted to see what was wrong with this lecture. It was called a lecture. But in fact, it was more like a large-scale pyramid scheme, a brainwashing scene of success learning. The master's lecture philosophy is to learn to say yes to everything, because as long as you say yes, then the response you get will also be yes. The people who came to the lecture were all old members. Only Carl was a newcomer. The master asked him to go on stage and say a few words, and Carl habitually said no. These people were seriously brainwashed. In their eyes, as long as someone said no, they would get countless no responses. He threw off his slippers, ran to Carl and looked at him. I have to say that this master still has two brushes. When he saw Carl's face, it tells the story of Carl's many troubles. You always make excuses for yourself. Now you are in a job where you cannot get promoted. You don't know how to live. You have lost your lover.